Welcome to Cardano Over Coffee with your host Brian from Hero Pool, Jenny from the Blockchain, Epoch Pool, TCT, Blockjock, Darlington from Lido Nation, and the always chillin' Cook Time. Today we have Big Joe, creator of the Cardano Stonerz Club. He's here to tell us about his upcoming space, Shill, Mania, and all the things that they're doing in the ecosystem. Then we talk to SuperBull.io. They're building an NFT sports league platform. We'll talk about the new app dropping with a demo tonight. Make sure to check that out. Get your coffee and let's learn what's being built on Cardano.
So Joe, tell us, how'd you get into the space? Tell us about yourself. How'd you start the Stonerz Club? What is the Stonerz Club? How many stoners are there?
There's more than I can count. But the Stoners Club started, I want to say, September 2021, and it was inspired by Cardano Over Coffee, one of the first spaces that I had been to, and that I really felt welcomed in. It's very intimidating, especially for somebody that's not technical, doesn't know too much about computers and stuff. And I would come on these spaces and I would hear you guys breaking down just mad knowledge about blockchain and us, of course, specifically Cardano. And it was, I'll be honest, it was super intimidating to listen to you guys talk about the details, with developers and different projects. And I it still felt welcoming enough though for me to come up and ask a few questions, and I did. And you guys just welcomed me with open arms and were laughing and stuff, and I was like, yo, like after a few episodes of that, I was like, I think I could do this. I think I could run a space and keep the flow going and do some fun things at night when there's not a Cardano space. Because back then there was not too many Cardano spaces. Like there was Cardano Over Coffee, Epochs, and Cardano Nights was going pretty big back then. And like besides a few other like little ones,
So
there
what you're
was
saying was it was this show, Hero's other show,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
Epoch.
yeah, yeah. And like basically if you weren't on, like there wasn't a Cardano space. And originally, it was Bitfins, Tyler from Bitfins, who would pump me up, and he always would text me or DM me, "Yo, there's not a Cardano space right now. Let's start a space. Let's start a space." And my stoner ass, to me at the time, it was the funnest thing in the world. Like, what? There's not a Cardano space right now. I didn't care if it was 1 in the morning. I'd be like, "Yo, we gotta, start a Cardano space," and we would. And people just started flocking in there, and I started getting more and more comfortable, like as a host, and like kind of just mediating like the conversations and stuff, and you know, dealing with trolls and art. There's always a disagreement and arguments between two speakers or whatever, and mediating that without trying to get people offended. And I would just do it like in the beginning. It felt like I was on Spaces 24/7 for like the first 3 to 6 months. I was just on space. I didn't care what I was doing in the shower, in the car, like whatever I was doing. I was just always trying to have a space go down. Maybe like 3 months into it, towards well, actually, I could tell you exactly when it happened. It was in January of 2022 that we had the first Shillamania, and it just stemmed from a space that we were having one night, and it was two people that were having an argument. It was Fractal Fusion and Kezi. Both of them were artists with projects, and they were both trying to shill their project, and they kept interrupting each other. Oh, my project's about this. Oh, well, my project comes out, blah, 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 blah. And they were just trying to hog the mic, and I muted them. I was like, hold up, no one could hear you, like, and you guys are just yelling over each other, and like no one could hear your shill. I was like, look, we're gonna have a shill off. You get 60 seconds, and then you get 60 seconds, and we're gonna let the people decide who had the best shill, and it's gonna help you guys improve on your shilling about your project and stuff. So we did that, and the people had such a good time with it and a great reaction, and everyone was pumped up and voting and stuff. And I was like, "Yo, we should make a thing out of this. These chill off things are cool. Let's do like a monthly thing. We'll call it Shillamania. And honestly, it was like everyone. Tia Jenny was there. Like everyone that was on the space was like, yeah, and everyone started like organizing it. My guy Nudes down there was a big part of it. Like basically all the stoners from the stoners. I didn't do shit. I was just the host. I was like, this was my job. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, like that was,
Great, isn't it?
yeah, it was awesome. I was like, yeah, yeah. And then people were getting all pumped up. And then we had the first Shillamania in January. And keep in mind, I'm like I still feel like a rookie. Even today, I still feel like a rookie sometimes, right? And obviously, one of the first things that I got recommended was like the Charles Hoskinson whiteboard video, right? And then I got into the TED Talks, and then I started like watching it over and over to try to understand like what Cardano was about and what like the principles of Cardano were, and interoperability and scalability, and like all the pillars. And I started understanding it more and more little by little. So when Shillamania 1 happened, it was already a big space. It had to be like 100 people in there, maybe like more than 100 people. And Shillamania was about to start. This is the beginning of the first Shillamania. And I hear Willie Boy say, Charles Hoskinson is here. And I was like, man, this high motherfucker is falling for some Charles Hoskinson troll page. I was like, I almost felt like, Willie Boy, be quiet. We got something serious going on. It's Shillamania. It's the first one. Stop fucking it up. In my head, I was thinking, right? And then he's like, everyone be quiet. I'm going to bring him up. He comes up with the blue check mark, and he's like, hey, guys. What's going on here? It's pretty impressive how you guys got so many people like in a space. And like we started explaining Shillamania to him, and I didn't notice at the time because I'm busy hosting. But then there was like over 1,000 people. It just kept climbing and climbing, and we kept getting like all kinds of speaker requests and shit, and it went wild. And the whole time I was just trying to like keep my composure and make sure that the space went smooth. So I kind of kicked Charles off stage. I was like, all right, Charles Hoskinson, like it's cool that you came to visit, but we gotta, get going with our first chill off shit. And then we started the first chill off, and fucking, we've been doing a Shillamania every month since then. We've had 12 of them, and tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of Shillamania. So yeah, I'm just excited, and I don't even know how we made it this far, but I'm pretty pumped up about it.
Well, I'm gonna remind you to remind your stoners to this space. No, I'm kidding. I think it's awesome what you did, right? At first I was kind of like, what is going on here? I came into the first one and I laughed my ass off. It was so much fun. And then people started getting like ruthless with it somewhere in there, and it kind of shied me away from it because like I'm not for that. But I understand that it's all in fun and that type of shit, but it's just not my type of thing. But some people like Nudes and Patrick, and I still listen to those clips when they come out, and I don't attend because you're late night and I'm usually sleeping.
Were you there when Charles hijacked the space? He literally hijacked it.
Yeah, I was there.
He definitely I think he definitely liked it because he's been on the Stoners Club like 3-4 times since then. And like when he's hosting a space or he's on a space, he'll put one of the stoners, whether it's me or Nudes or someone, up as co-host. And man, one time I wasn't even there, and someone was like, "Yo, oh yeah, it was on 420. It was the 420 Stoners Club, and he started a space exactly when we started the Shillamania." And all the stoners were like, damn, Uncle Charlie's got the space going right now. So a bunch of dudes went to his space, requested speaker, and they were pissing him off. They're like, Uncle Charlie, Shillamania's going down right now. Big Joe and the Stoners Club. And someone told me that he was like, oh, nah, Big Joe's my homie. Like, he said those words, and I was like, what? He said that? And then the next space I was on him with, I went up as speaker, and I was like, hey, yo, Uncle Charlie, is it cool if I tell my friends that I have a billionaire homie, which is you, And he's like, yeah. And ever since then, every time I get a chance on the space, I'm like, oh yeah, Charles Hoskinson, that's my homie. Like, it's all good, no big deal.
No, man, that's funny. So tomorrow's Shill Mania, right? So that's going down. Who is the champion? What's the main event?
So right now, the champion is Trog. The Trog, it's kind of like, it's hard to explain. It's like a split personality thing with a rapper named Dark Jedi, right? And it just so happens to be that the champion before him also had like a split personality type of thing. That was Veggie who had his other personality was Junkies, right? So those are the two guys that are going for the championship tomorrow, and I don't know if it's gonna be Trog versus Junkies or Dark Jedi versus Veggie or both of them against each other. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that's the dope thing about Shillamania is we don't plan that shit at all. Every month, like, cause like the first few months we were planning it, and it was getting kind of overwhelming because everybody thinks they got the best idea, right? Like everybody's like, no, what we should do is this, and then the next person DMs me like, nah, I think we should do this, and I was just like, yeah, we should do whatever the fuck I want to do. Cause it's hard to like fucking like figure it all out, and then sometimes you plan for people to go against each other and then they don't show up and it fucks up like the whole thing. So I was like, look, we're gonna do it like whoever shows up, and that's who's gonna battle, and it's been working out that way ever since. So like tomorrow we have nothing planned out. We know who the champions are, and since it's the 1 year anniversary, I'm probably gonna throw up some polls up on top of like the real questions I think people want to know, and it might stir up some shit tomorrow, but that's what the Stonerz Club does. We stir up some shit and get the people going.
With a turkey baster.
You were talking about how you like to stir shit up or whatever, and I was just saying, it ain't all about that. You guys have been really accepting of a lot of different kinds of people in the community, and that's what draws me into the Stonerz Club. There are a lot of people in the club regularly who don't care about weed or even drink, and because they know it ain't really about that. It may be what brought us together, but like, there's a ton of people who come just for the craziness, and it ain't all about stirring shit up. I just wanted to say, like, it's got more value than that, man.
Thank you for saying that, Weird Woodsy, because that's actually like one of the pillars of the Stonerz Club is it was that same energy that the Cardano over coffee like accepted me as a stoner and on stage, and a lot of it is laughing, and sometimes I play into it a little extra just to make people laugh, but like really deep in my heart, that's what it was about. It was having, well, I guess I'll share this other part of how the Stonerz Club began, right? The thing that really pushed me like over the edge to really host like my own space was that I went to another Cardano space, and it was like the Cardano Foundation. It was like very professional and very organized, and I was high as fuck. Like I was so fucking stoned, and I had got really comfortable like going up as speaker and just asking something crazy. And at the end of the space, I did. I went up there and I was like, I think it was Jeremy Firster and like a couple other dudes. Like I forgot who it was. And I was like, yeah, my bad. I'm really stoned right now. And then I was gonna like proceed to ask my question, and they were like, no, 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 we'll have none of that. And like they muted me. Um, and I felt kind of like, yo, I actually had a good question. I was just mentioning that I was high. You know what I mean? Just because it's like it's kind of like my like where I get comfortable. Like, let me let you know from the beginning why I'm talking kind of like slow and sound kind of weird is because I'm really stoned. But it kind of made me feel like unwelcomed and like I couldn't be part of like the serious Cardano community. It made me feel fucked up, to be honest with you guys, and it kind of pissed me off. And I was like, you know what? I'm never gonna make no one feel like that on one of my spaces. I don't give a fuck where they're from or what accent they have or if they're rich or poor or smart or they don't sound too smart or educated about blockchain or whatever. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want anyone to ever feel how I felt. So that was one of the pillars. Like that's why we're so good with trolls. Like even I've converted so many trolls that came in just to troll and talk shit about Cardano. Next thing you know, we make them a wallet, throw some NFTs in there, and a lot of those trolls have become part of the community, which I'm pretty proud of.
That's actually true, though. And that's crazy. Like, some major trolls turn into regular, normal people. They're not trolling anymore, which is, you save them from trolling.
Yeah, man, you give people a place to talk and be themselves. Like, um, not everybody's doing that shit. So, I've been a fan since you started.
And
I
even though
don't know
you
if
have
you
like
remember.
even there's like space for disagreement, it's never been like one of those spaces where people are like just yelling at each other all the time. It's like,
Except for when I was telling Vince to fuck off. But aside from that, like, uh, uh, I don't know if you remember this, but I was actually suggesting early on we start a space together called Cardano over cannabis, but that we didn't go anywhere. But
Cannabis
yeah,
coffee? Cardano over cannabis coffee? I'm in.
big shout out to Stonerz Club and Big Joe and Willie Boy and everyone else involved. You guys are entertaining as fuck, and I don't know. I met a lot of cool people through it, and I'm gonna shut up now.
Deepak, are you just vibing or you want to say something?
He wants tacos.
I do want tacos. I am vibing, but I do have a little testimonial I wanted to say. Can y'all hear me okay? I'm on my driveway. Cool. So here's the story of how I ran into the Stonerz Club. I was actually on a business trip. I was in New York, had a long day. I got really drunk after work. And I pull up my phone. I remember I was like alone at a bar eating like a chicken sandwich. I was like, you know what? Like, let me see what's going on Twitter. And I see like Stoner's Club in the top, and I was like, Big Joe. I was like, oh shit, he's got a space now. I was like, all right, shit's getting wild. All right, let me look in here. And I remember the vibes were so welcoming. I ended up like pouring my heart out, about all of my life problems and my history of whatever. I'm not gonna air all of that on this recorded space. But like I opened up about like my relationships and just like all this crazy shit. And then everyone in the Stoners Club was like, oh, well, this is what I've experienced and some advice. And like it ended up being like low key therapy at like, 1 a.m. And I don't know, I'll never forget that. I ended up being on the space until my phone literally died. So, sorry I bailed that day, Joe, but that was just how I'll always associate the Stoners Club is with that kind of like, comfortable space where you could literally bring any topic at any time. Maybe that's not the actual point of the space, but that's how I take it.
Empathy, man, it goes a long way. And Big Joe, you got it. You got a lot of it.
I used to love it that I would wake up at 4 a.m. and they will be there. And oh my God, it was my favorite. Then I started worrying. I was like, okay, Big Joe, you gotta take a break. You can't do this. Like, oh, you can't stay up all night like this. But I miss it. It was, oh my God. Like, sometimes I would just spend all night and see the morning and just still be there, just chilling and share music, like, oh my God, so much stuff. Really getting to know one another and from each other's cultures, backgrounds, helping each other with their problems. I love the Stonerz Club. I really do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Those were fun times, even though it was really hard work to be honest, I literally would stay up all night long till Cardano over coffee began, and I would raid the space. I would end it right before Cardano over coffee, and I'd be like, "All right, guys, whoever's still awake or whatever, we're gonna go to Cardano over coffee now." And then I'd get my little break. Well, I really wouldn't, because then I'd jump on Cardano over coffee too, and just be hanging out with you guys. In the morning, I'd be like, "Yeah, I did a space all night, and came over here too now." And
Usually that combo started out, I'm really high, but I ran a space.
yeah, but you know what? Back then I had to do it because there was no other Cardano space, and the whole one of the main goals was to grow Cardano and onboard people, and have more spaces, and I like it warms my heart when I see all these other spaces, and I'm not sure what the vibe's gonna be, but I like to support Cardano spaces, so I go on there, and like the host will be like, "Big Joe, we started this space because of the Stoners Club, and I seen you were doing it, so I felt like I could do it." And fucking now there's like, I don't want to exaggerate, but there's like at least 5 other spaces that started from the Stoners Club that all do their own thing now. And I appreciate that they give me props and that I inspired them, because I was inspired. So I was inspired by Cardano over coffee. So it's all like, it all kind of comes back to here, you know what I mean? Yeah, everybody has their own style. Everyone has their own like way of running their space, and that's good. It gives all the Cardano community an option. If they like yelling at people and talking about how much money they can make flipping NFTs, there's a space for that. If they want to talk about, mental health, there's a space for that. If they want to talk about DeFi only, there's a space for that. Now there's so many spaces about whatever avenue you want to go down, that I think, I mean, if we're going to grow the ecosystem and grow Cardano and bring all kinds of people from all over the world, then that's what it was going to have to be eventually anyway.
Preach it. The exact reason why I think me and Epoch started this show. So, Block Chalk, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. So before I really kind of gave up my anonymity and being part of an anonymous program for over 30 years, I had been kind of hedging around, and people knew because it's certain speak I give and the way I talk and things like that. But Joe brought up something one day having to do with an OD with somebody that was near to him. And it's something that I've also experienced as well. And it allowed me to, it's weird. I'm talking about this with the Stonerz Club, and the fact that I was able to get honest with who I was as a person, and then really just kind of talk in a real way about who I was and how it affected me personally. And Joe kind of facilitated that, man. And as everybody was talking about this, it just reminded me, and I know exactly where I was when I started talking about it. And it was a very emotional time for me at that very moment. And Joe, I just want to say thank you, dude. I know you're all about fun and doing this and that, but we have quite a few life experiences, and there's some tragedy that's involved in there as well. But it's okay because we're all in this together, right? And it just made me feel really welcome, and I was able to get really honest at that very moment. So thank you for that, brother. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for. The reason that I'm such a like try to be funny and make people laugh and make people welcome and try to be in a good mood all the time is because I've been through a lot of shit. I've been through a lot of things where it's not really time to laugh. So it makes me really enjoy every moment. Try to enjoy every moment that I'm alive, every interaction that I have with another human, because I know that it could be all taken away at any moment.
You made me
Wow,
cry.
that's like
Made me cry.
I know, right?
I'm not trying to make you guys cry.
But what you speak is 100% the truth, Joe. And it makes me sad because my whole situation with my brother. I'm not going to talk about that, but that's what it reminds me of, right? You never know when your last moments are going to be. So I love that your attitude is always upbeat. You're always inviting and welcoming. I'll never forget when you first come up on Cardano over coffee and played that song. And I just like, oh my God, I didn't even know how to react. So I just left it go. And I consider us friends, and I appreciate you, and I love what you do with the Stonerz Club. And I hope you continue it and you become super successful at it. We're about at the end of your time, though. Please let the people know the call to action. What's going on tomorrow? How can they be involved with the Stonerz Club? All that happy fun jive.
So the Stonerz Club, officially or unofficially, we're having random spaces at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we kind of just have them lately whenever I get a chance to do it. But tomorrow is one of our biggest events, which we do once a month on the 20th every month, and it's called Shill Mania. Earlier in the space, I explained how it started. Tomorrow is the 13th one, the 1 year anniversary championship battle between the Trog and Junkies. And it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun time. Everyone's welcome. Anyone could come show their project. If they're an artist, they're deep, like whatever you want to show. You could come show. You get 60 seconds, and then we all vote. And even if you don't want to battle and you're not too confrontational, we have a halftime show where you could just sing or share poetry, or you could even show your project for 60 seconds and no one's going to vote on it. So the pressure's a little, less. But yeah, everybody's invited. We'll have a good time. You know what I mean? I'm pretty pumped up about it, and I can't wait to
What
see you
time is
guys
it
out tomorrow.
tomorrow? It's at the
It's
same time, 6
yeah,
p.m.?
same time tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We really don't get started with the battles until maybe half an hour into it. So everybody has a chance to come check it out. And even if you can't make it, it's recorded. You could enjoy it after.
And check out Joe's TikTok, Stonerz Club TikTok. I get a good laugh out of that sometimes. So he hasn't mentioned that. Exerber's unofficial sponsors of Cardano over Coffee risk management tool. Check them out today. Go ahead, Big Joe.
Thank you for the sponsorship. No, I tried to real quick come in here and say that I don't think I've ever been in such a wholesome and nice space ever. And it really seems like, Big Joe, you really touched the hearts and the community in a really, really unique and beautiful way. So I just wanted to say kudos to you for that. And it's really, really cool to see. It's really cool to see the true community, really supporting each other, not just talking about shills.
Hell yeah. Can't agree with that more.
We got you, Joe.
Willie boy. Willie boy.
Hey, I just want to remind everybody as well that we are playing poker in the Weed Discord on Saturdays and Wednesdays. And this Saturday, we already have a pot of 200 ADA and a couple miscellaneous NFTs in there. Because Dogmata won the pot last night and said, let's just roll it over and make it one big one on Saturday. So
That's so Dogmata, man. I love him. He's the best.
Stop by Saturday, the day after Shillmania.
What's the buy-in? What do you do for that poker?
25 ADA.
So it's not even that much. So if you want to get involved, you like playing poker, join the Stonerz Club Discord. Check that out. Big Joe, I appreciate you coming, taking the time. Always a pleasure having you. Keep doing what you do, man, because without people like you, Cardano won't grow. So we need what you do. Keep doing it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, I just wanted to shout out the time. It's the same time as Shillmania, 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. or 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I always beat Willie boy.
Actually, I just want to say something. You want to check your vending machine for the Stonerz Club anthem? Because I tried ordering one the other day, never came through. So just want to make sure that you check on that.
I will. I'll get on Patrick's ass. I love complaining to him because he always complains to me.
That's just complain to Epoch.
I'm surprised you get Patrick to respond at all. That's impressive.
I'm going to see him next week. I'm doing a little meetup in North Carolina, and I'm going to see a waifus like Abe and Patrick and Holy Macaroni. I'm so excited.
I got 28 that says that he doesn't show up or he's late by 6 hours.
He's co-organizing with me, dude. He's coming.
Yeah, I stand by my comment.
So with that being said, make sure that you join, if you're in the North Carolina area, join that meetup. There'll be more information coming out about it soon, I'm sure. But we are midway through the show, so please do me a favor. Tell your friends how much fun you had hanging out with the Stonerz Club. Give Big Joe and Willie Boy them a follow. But do me a favor. Go to Coinbase. Take your NAMI address. Take it over to Coinbase and transfer your funds off of Coinbase, because that's what you should do. Self-custody is important. Not your keys, not your crypto. You will lose your funds. Rumors going around that there's another exchange about to go bankrupt. It keeps happening over and over. I've been in crypto since 2017, and it happens over and over and over. So please take your funds off an exchange. Stake it with a stake pool. You got Epoch pool. I'm Hero pool. Jenny got a secret pool. We got lots of pools around. So.
Actually, don't look for secret pool. I don't know if there's a secret pool.
Is there a secret pool? Don't look for secret pool. It's a shh pool. I don't know what to say. How am I going to use that line now if there's an actual secret pool? Damn it. Anyhow, Jenny from the blockchain would appreciate if you staked your ADA off of an exchange. So do that. Our next guest coming up is been here several times, but they have some like really big news going on later on tonight. I think I don't know, around 8 or something. I don't remember the exact time. SuperBull, and I'm sure it's Joe behind the PFP. Is that correct?
How's it going? Yep, that's me.
Little Joe. We got Little Joe and Big Joe and Super Joe.
I know, it's a JoJo day. I love it.
Joe, how you been, buddy?
I am doing pretty good. Yeah, as you said, I'm super excited for the showcase tonight and really just be here to talk about it.
Yeah, so before we get specifically to the showcase, and you've been here several times, so I kind of want you to maybe, if you could trim it down, get it under a minute, and I'll, you know what I'll do with it. Anyways, tell everybody what SuperBull is.
Yep. So let me try this. SuperBull is a project focused on gaming. Our goal is to make a app called the SuperBull app that's focused on fantasy, like simulated sports for NFTs. So you can use your NFT to compete with other people, and if your NFT does well, you can get rewarded. And we've been building this app for more than 6 months now, and it's at a good point where we want to demo it to the world. So that's going to be happening tonight.
Excellent. And a little bit about yourself and the team behind SuperBull, please.
Yep. So we started out as a core team of 3. We were computer engineering graduates, students, and then we've graduated since then, and then added another member who's in Taiwan right now doing some business-related stuff for us. But the core team, we are all, really passionate about building products. Gaming is our passion, and so that's why we decided to march on this venture.
So you are premiering the new app today. You had a beta out, which was a racing game, correct?
Yep. So if you go to superbull.app right now, you can see our beta 1 site. We wrote this back when we finished our mint, and it was really just a proof of concept site for people to know what it is like to use your NFT for something. Because back then it was like summer of 2021. There wasn't really a notion of utilities, but I'm actually so glad that right now everybody is talking about utilities and really see the tech behind NFTs. And so beta 2, honestly, we've been running beta 1 for more than 63 weeks now, and I've been wanting to sunset it for the longest time just because beta 2, the one that we'll be demoing, is just so much better.
Where can people go to watch the demo? And I'm sure you're going to tell us a little bit about the game. But where are you going to actually be doing like the whole live demo at?
Yeah, so we were actually thinking about like different mediums that we can use, but ended up deciding to be on YouTube. The link that I shared just now, it's actually a giveaway as well. So we'll be giving away Ali list. They're so like awesome that they provided 2 for us, 1 for the post and 1 for the live event. but in the same post, you will see a YouTube link. I think there's already a countdown. I'm not too sure, but the link is there. So we're going to be doing it on YouTube. To us, that's probably the best decision. It's more accessible to everybody versus like Twitch or inside our own Discord.
So what's the difference between this and the original gaming app? Because I played, me and Jenny, and there was a whole group of us back in the early days, like right after the drops, and you had this game out that we were playing. What's the difference between these two?
So the biggest difference, other than just this one being an actual web app instead of just a website, is that in beta 2, we finally released the idea of a stats. So each hornies, our NFT, have a stats associated to them. And in the app, these are your playable characters, basically. And then the way you compete is actually based on these stats. So the one that everybody has been playing, that's basically as I said, right, it's a proof of concept. So the mechanism is RNG, like render number generated. So everybody has the same chance of winning. It's really just for fun. But now in beta 2, you need to look at the stats, and then there's different sports that you can compete in. I'm going to attach more screenshots. There's honestly so much more than what's currently in beta 1. We have stuff such as an in-game store. Before you enter a race, you can even equip your bow with some items to give you a boost, or even some items to nerf other people. So just a bunch more interactions to make it more game-like. Definitely. I feel like the fun part about beta 2 is it's still going to be the same mechanism in which like 10 people enter into a race, and then the simulation will get kicked off maybe in 30 minutes. But prior to the simulation, that's when you can, like, if I see hero in lane number 10, everybody might go buy some, nerfs to like specifically attack lane number 10 type of ideas. So there's just so much interaction that one can do. And animation is also something that I'll be focusing on, but maybe not right on release. But the future goal is to have you being even able to see your bow using items, attacking other people and stuff like that.
Did you hear Jenny's question? I'm not sure if you heard her.
Oh,
I don't know. Can you hear me, Joe, or no? I don't think you can hear me.
I don't think you can't hear Jenny, can you? She's talking to you.
Oh, no.
No, Jenny, he can't. Maybe try not to co-host. Maybe just try speaker. Or wait, you are just a speaker.
I'm just a speaker. I left by mistake. I pressed the leave button.
Let me co-host you and see if that fixes it. And if not, you'll have to leave and come back. She was asking with the demo, when's it going to be playable for folks? I know you're just showing it off tonight, right? When will we actually be able to play it?
So I think the very first time that everybody will be able to play will be on the 27th of January. So super quick. And that's when I also attached a new screenshot. That's when we will be hosting the very last Goombo whitelist, play to win whitelist events, collabing with Farmer Nash and his project. So as you can see in the screenshot, we have some like prizes that people can get, and one of them will be Goombo. So during that 5 days event, everybody will be able to sign up. But right after that, we'll probably close off the app, maybe patch up some bugs, and then officially release it about mid-February.
Excellent. That's awesome. Now I have a question. There's only 5,000 hornies. In the other racing game, I was able to race many different NFTs. Will I be able to use those NFTs in the new app, or is that a no-go? Or, and if it's a no-go, do you plan on adding more because you're kind of limiting yourself to the number of players that you can have?
That's such a good question here. So beta 1, actually, the private room feature that a lot of people know, where you can use other projects' NFT to race, that's actually such a interesting idea to us. And we were talking about how basically sustainability of the platform is really relied on like the user base, right? And so what we decided for beta 2 is to come up with these concept called the SuperBull League, in which we're able to onboard new projects to be part of the SuperBull League. And then if you think about it, if we just have the hornies for now, 5K holders, not 5K holders, like 5K NFTs in circulation. If we're lucky, maybe 2K holders in total. Out of that, maybe say 10% 200 people will be playing. That doesn't really, it's not sustainable, right? So if we're able to onboard a new project, Yummy Universe, for example, each new one that we onboard introduce a new wave of users onto the platform, introduce them to the Hornies, introduce them to the Super ecosystem. And so that's why we really like this concept of Super Bowl League. And I'm pretty sure our goal for the opening, like the Farmer Nash's Goombo List events, is right on the 27th. There's going to be a group of project that's already going to be compatible.
Oh, wow. Can you talk about a little bit about what the Super Bowl League is?
Yep. So Super Bowl League is sort of, I'm a big sports fan. I love like NBA. I watch, actually the whole Super Bowl ideas came from daily fantasy sports that I played when I was in college. So I wanted to bring in this whole sport ecosystem into NFTs. And the way I thought about it is, if you think about a league, NBA or NFL, for example, they have a bunch of really big franchises within them. Each one have their dedicated fan base. Each one have their logos, I guess, identity, themes. That, to me, that looks like a project. That looks like a big blue chip project type of thing. And so the idea here is, if you can see in a room, you can see a Hornies versus a Yummy Universe versus a Ada Ninja. That makes stuff a lot more interesting, because at the lowest level, it's still PvP. I'm still going up against 9 other contestants, but at a higher level, if I know I'm using a Go Tribe NFT, for example, to play, I'm also accumulating points for my team Go Tribe. That introduces a whole new like project versus project dynamic into the whole Super ecosystem. And then we can introduce stuff such as the season, where each week we have project versus project, like head-to-head matchups. And then you can progress through the season, go to the playoffs, season 1 champion teams. We can maybe introduce like season 1 NFT trophies and stuff like that. So like the phrase I always use, and I like probably repeating myself a lot here, is I wanted to turn the tribalistic nature of NFTs into some type of classic sport rivalry type of thing.
Not Pittsburgh versus Baltimore Steelers versus Ravens, because that's a dirty down low rivalry. But anyhow,
don't forget the Cowboys. Come on,
go Cowboys! I hope you lose. I've been a fan since I first learned about your project, obviously, and I obviously hold. I don't hold a crap ton. I don't know, like 7, 8 Hornies, but I raced a lot of my goats and all of those other NFTs. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I'm looking forward to the gamification and how people are going to have to spend their money to beat my Hornies, because I got the best of the best.
Yep. And like all of that stuff will be in the demo, or I guess in the showcase tonight. Not only will we be talking about the current beta 2, we'll be going over our vision for how to, like, I guess the next phase of beta 2, or we call like the fully fledged Super Bowl app. That's when we'll be talking about like token integrations, smart contracts, and the actual compete to earn mechanism.
Yeah, you had talked previously on the previous show about like a 2 token system. Is that still what you're going to be doing? Like, how are people going to purchase through the store? Is it going to be through with ADA, or is it going to be with one of your tokens? Because you said there's going to be like potions and that for sale.
For beta 2, it's going to be some type of in-game tokens. So imagine like a mobile game has diamonds and gold. Beta 2 will be pretty similar, but our goal is really to probably not in beta 2, but eventually working with our partner in Maker Pro Gaming to turn the entire infrastructure into Web3 integrated. So that's when you can, hopefully, we're still working on like the feasibility and legal side of things, but when you can use like tokens, if Cardano ever has a good stablecoin, we'll probably adopt that. And then when it comes to smart contracts, when you enter a race, the rewards and stuff might get automatically distributed. Other teams, like I mentioned, Super Bowl League, right? So maybe another team, Yummy Universe, for example, they might be able to set up their own competition that's denominated in their own token and stuff like that. So those will be like the next phase, and we'll definitely talk about it tonight as well.
Excellent. Jenny, do you have any questions?
Can you hear me, Joe, or no?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yay!
How's it
No,
going, Junior?
it's so exciting. I can't wait. I do have my hornies too. I'm not gonna lie, I used to have a lot of hornies, but I don't know why I'm so altruistic when it comes down to my NFTs. And now I guess I'm down more. I still have a few. But what's the plan with that? Like I'm not giving those away anymore, by the way. Now I'm like hold my hornies like tight. Are you gonna have are you gonna have more? What's the plan with those amazing OG hornies?
Yeah. So that actually ties perfectly to the second last post I pinned. Um, I've always tell people, right, when they ask me about the two series, all of the series 0, series 1 hornies, they all are under the same quote unquote Genesis collection. We do have plans for two more. From the beginning, it was meant to be a 4 series drop, but our I guess the way that we like to work is make sure we have a product first in order to get to the next step. And so last year when we finished our first mint, that's when we started the beta 1 site, and then we go to our next mint, right? So our focus for at least the first half of 2023 is going to be the SuperBull app, making sure it's up and running and it's all good. But the idea for Hornies is that we will eventually have 2 more series. And as I say in the post, right, the Hornies are really what has gotten us here. Our plan for SuperBull is really to turn this into a company, and we're talking about eventually I wanted to go full time in Cardano. I do have a IRL jobs right now, but I want to work on this full time, and Hornies will be the one that will be always taken care of every step of the way, whether it's new products, it's new utility, airdrops and all that stuff. So we have, I think 2023 we do have one more plans for the Hornies, not related to the game. Like every game, every product, Hornies will be part of it, but we have something really special that's going to be probably at the end of the year. But so I won't say much about it, but just know that, yeah, hold your Hornies. Our goal for the Hornies is not close to done yet.
Hold your hornies. I like it.
Hold it. Stay horny, my friends.
Block chalk. Good.
Hey, so I just want to find out, can I get a special boost for my Gen 1 horny that can beat Hero on a regular basis? Because I just need to know I got it there. It's kind of like a turbo boost or something like that, I just take him at the end. Is there something I could get for that? And prices, no option. Money means nothing to me. So let's just make it happen.
Joe, hold on. Before you answer that, I got a money making scheme, and we're not going to do this, but it's wonderful. We're going to sell a hero tripping potion in your store, and all royalties go to me.
That's like we're actually in the process of coming up with all the names for the different items. You'll see in the demo today, a lot of them are still, I guess, dummy data, but yeah, we're still coming up with, like, to me, items is really what makes all the races more interesting. So one example that I always give is, imagine items really introduce a whole new meta for different ways of racing. Imagine if Blockjock has a horny that is super bad in like every single category. Hero has a really, really good stats one. We have an item that will basically give you 33% chance of swapping your stats before the race. We also have another item that if you hold it and you place in a very last place, you have 10% chance of swapping with the first place outright. And so like these type of things that are usually not realistic in real life, because it's simulated sports, we can like have a lot of fun with it. And so I think what I'm going to do is I wanted to like add a lot more like Cardano theme items into this, like a Cardano over coffee, like a coffee item and stuff like that into the app eventually.
Cardano over coffee, caffeine shot.
Yes,
I like
actually, we should have our own little collection with our own faces, and you can race like Blockjock.
No, I don't want to race block chalk. I'm too
We all
old.
have our own little powers. You get the power of the mute button. It's like,
Power of the mute button. I love it. So is this like in beta 1 versus beta 2? Beta 1 was just I think it was a 100-meter race, right? Is that the same in beta 2, or has that been expanded?
It's going to be, we still have the race, but we have a lot more. And the reason, like if you look at, I guess, the stats of each horny, we have 6 core stats. And our goal for SuperBull from the beginning has always been, we wanted this to be more like an Olympic style ecosystem in which we can continuously introduce new sports. And I guess the idea is that no hornies left behind. Even if there's a horny that has really bad stats, there's always be, like the way that we design stats is that there's going to be at least one stats out of the 6 that this guy is specialized in. And so you can always find some type of sports that you can go and compete, have an advantage. And so currently in beta 2, we're going to be starting off with 6 different categories. So like we have, for racing, we have short distance racing. So the 100 meters that's in beta 1 right now, but we also have like marathon. So by intuition, right, if your horny has maybe not that good in speed, but very good stamina, you'll probably want to go to the marathon section. And then we have like stuff such as for power, we have weightlifting. We also have basketball. And so it's really up to the users to determine like what rooms do I enter my hornies into.
I think my hornies with wings, with the toy wings, will be a really good high jumper. So we should get high jumping in there somewhere.
Yes, we will have something related to vertical very soon, like hurdle or high jump. Yeah.
I just need to beat everybody. That's all. Sorry. But I got a question, Joe. Do you drink coffee?
I used to, but not anymore. So back when I was still a student, I was studying computer engineering, and that was, I don't know if Rich is back here. I see Rich actually. So we've since graduated, but I would say the 5 years of studying computer engineering was the hardest five years of my life. And so every day I was basically relying on coffee and Red Bull and all that stuff. But ever since I graduated, it's not as stressful anymore. My IRL job is also pretty good, so I don't really drink coffee anymore.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear your job's going well, by the way. Me and Joe talk offline sometimes here and there. So Crypto College, please go ahead.
Hey, I got a question for a SuperBull about the items. So the items, are they going to be like account bound or consumable? And are they going to be transferable like NFTs within the ecosystem?
Great question. For beta 2, because we do have a vision for eventually what the final fully fledged app will be, and it's going to be running on smart contracts, hopefully. But for beta 2 at least, items have 2 types. One is called just the in-game item. It's the one that you can buy in-game. You can use to equip stuff. It's the consumable items. But we also have, I was talking about like the Gumball whitelist events, right? The good thing about SuperBull Beta 2 is that we have the ability to add actual real life like tokens, NFTs, whitelist into the app. It's going to be in the form of still like an in-game item, but we designed this redeem system in which a Gumball whitelist is a redeemable item. And so you can redeem it. Because we have your account, we know your the address bounded to your account, so we can just send the actual NFT into your address. So we support both basically.
College, you good?
Yeah, thanks. I'm pretty sure I'll get the details. Those items you can like swap and put them across your different hornies and try different combinations out, I would assume, right?
Yeah. So for like the equipable items, you buy in the store. So and then before the race, you can decide which horny you want to equip it with. I would suggest probably it will be best to always equip an item to give yourself an advantage. But as with the site being open, everybody will try a lot of like different stuff, and eventually I think there will be some metas being created.
Awesome.
I already started building my strategy to get out of here. I don't even know what the potions are. It's called Hero Wins, You Lose. That's my strategy. Sean, you came up. Did you have a question?
I mean, I can definitely have one. I'm talking to Joe tomorrow in our space, but I wanted to kind of hop up in case I had any questions that weren't related to what I had prepped. But I think I'm also hopping up and talking to you guys next week at Cardano over coffee as well.
Yeah,
Just wanted to start popping in and being a little bit more active in the community and say, how's everybody doing?
good. So you and Joe are on space tomorrow. What time's the space, and people follow you, or do you have an account for that space? Or
Yeah, so it's going to be the False Idols NFT Twitter space. It'll be over at the False Idols NFT Twitter. It starts at 4 p.m. Eastern, which I believe is now 9 p.m. UTC. The times change all the time. You know, I can't keep up with it anymore.
5 hours. Just remember 5. Add 5.
Right, but it switches to 4 sometimes. When we have daylight savings in America, it goes to 4. But yeah,
we have 2 banners made up for our space.
Oh yeah, you're prepared then. You're definitely prepared. But yeah, it's 9 p.m. UTC. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to definitely hold up your space. I definitely wanted to just kind of
plug that shit, especially if SuperBull's going to be on it. I mean, we're here to interview them. I mean, people will maybe want to know more information, especially after the demo, right? So maybe you see the demo and then you have some questions. That's a great place to maybe go ask them.
Right. Yeah, that's actually what we're doing. Joe and I talked about it, and they're going to be releasing their tool, and then I think 2 or 3 hours after that, we're going to be playing with it and having some questions on it. So whenever the community's ready to hop over, we'll be there.
Excellent. Joe, it is the end of your time, and I have to boot you off because that's what heroes do. I really don't, you know that. But give me the last wrap up. What do you want people to do? Obviously, watch the demo, but what else can people do, and how else can people get involved with Hornies?
Yeah, I would say honestly, it's really just I'm honestly so excited for tonight for the showcase. We've been prepping this for the longest time now, and allocate just 1 hour of your life, right? You can watch it live, you can watch it afterwards. I'm pretty sure it will be recorded to get to know, a project that has been building Cardano for more than 1.5 years. And we don't plan on going anywhere. We're going to be here until the end goal, which is the SuperBull app that's going to be running, eventually setting up a company. And so, yeah, if you want to be part of a project, of an NFT that's going to be, for sure the devs are here to build, are here to, build on Cardano long term, then it's the Hornies.
Appreciate you, Joe. And I'm gonna drop some alpha. I've seen it. I know what it is. And just go watch it. You'll be impressed, I promise you. And yes, I hold Hornies and I'm a bag holder, and no, I'm not trying to pump my bag. I'm trying to pump Cardano. Which we're all bag holders of.
And support great projects like SuperBull. People there, putting their heart into building things for the community. And by the way, check out the SuperBull radio. That's where I keep up with all the spaces that are happening in Cardano.
Yeah, SuperBull radio. Thanks, Jenny. I totally forgot about that. This team took their time they did a little hackathon, I believe, if I remember the story correctly, a team hackathon, and built a radio that lists all the Cardano Twitter spaces that have scheduled time frames. There's a lot of random Cardano Twitter spaces, so they're not on there, but thank you for that, Joe, and I appreciate it. Exposure to those shows just as much as ours helps grow this ecosystem, and that's what we're all here for.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, that's one of the product that will be continue to improve, and so also really excited for that.
Excellent. And with that said, remember today's sponsor is Taco Bell. Go buy yourself some tacos and then throw that shit in the garbage because it's not real.
Taco Bell.
That was perfect, Blog Dog.
Thanks for listening to Cardano Over Coffee. We'd like to give a special thanks to our guests SuperBull.io and the Cardano Stoner Club. Please check them out on Twitter and join us Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. UTC, live on Twitter Spaces.